It was on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month that the peace agreement was signed, ending a world war that was supposed to be the world's only war. Sadly, there were many more. On Remembrance Day, we wear poppy to remind us of the many people killed during the war. The tradition of the poppy started because of the red poppies that grew in a place called Flanders in Belgium. That was a battlefield where many soldiers fought and died a long time ago. A Canadian soldier, Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, wrote a very famous poem about Flanders and the poppies that grew there. This is his story.
When the First World War began in 1914, Dr. John McCrae enlisted as the 1st Brigade Surgeon in the 1st Brigade of Canadian Field Artillery. He was responsible for the first aid station at the front and treated those wounded during the Second Battle of Ypres in the spring of 1915. As well as performing his duties as a surgeon, he served in the artillery when needed.
While an extraordinary soldier and physician, Colonel McCrae is best known for his poem, In Flanders Fields. It is a lasting legacy of the terrible battle in Ypres in 1915 and to the war in general. McCrae has spent 17 days treating injured men, Canadians, British, French, and Germans in Ypres. McCrae later wrote,
I wish I could embody on paper some of the varied sensations of that 17 days. 17 days of Hades. At the end of the first day, if anyone had told us we had to spend 17 days there, we have folded our hands and said it could not have been done.
The next day, McCrae witnessed the burial of a good friend. Later that day, sitting on the back of an ambulance parked near the first aid station, McCrae composed the poem. A young officer delivering mail watched him write it. When McCrae finished writing, he took his mail from the soldier and, without saying a word, handed his pen to the soldier. The soldier was moved by what he read.
The poem was exactly an exact description of the scene. In front of us both, he used the word blow in that line because the poppies actually were being blown that morning by a gentle east wind. It never occurred to me at the time that it would ever be published. It seemed to me just an exact description of the scene.
His famous poem has become the lasting memorial to the war.
In Flanders fields the poppies blow, between the crosses row on row that mark our place. And in the sky the larks still bravely singing fly, scars heard amid the guns below.
We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt down, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from feeling hands we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders fields.
If this tradition ended a long, long time ago, we should also remember today those Canadians who are still in war zones all over the world. As much as they are trying to restore and preserve peace, it does not mean they are not in danger. We wear a poppy to remember them. All of these people who put themselves in harm's way to protect something they believe very strongly in. They did to give us what we have today, freedom of religion, of expression, and education. We wear a poppy to remember them.
Wear a poppy proudly and thoughtfully. Think about what all those people did in the past to give us what we have today. Think about what you can do to carry on their important work to keep us safe and free and peaceful.
Division 21 is going to come up with a very special ceremony. We're going to light a candle. And each candle that is lit represents something that we now have and enjoy, thanks to those who fought for us in the past. Think about each thing that the students say as their candle is lit and how important it is. Don't worry if a candle goes out or if it doesn't light. What is important is what the candle represents. Division 21, please.
Présente la cérémonie des chandelles de jour de souvenir.
Division 21 will now be performing the candle ceremony for Remembrance Day. Cette chandelle, c'est pour tous les frères canadiens qui sont tombés courageusement pour notre pays.
This candle is for all the brave Canadians who fought courageously for our country. Cette chandelle, c'est pour tous les coquelicots qui poussent dans les champs de Flandre sur les tombes des soldats morts.
This poppy represents the poppy. This candle represents the poppies that grow in Flanders fields over the graves of the soldiers who died.
This candle is for the poppies that we are wearing. May they remind us of the soldiers' ultimate sacrifices.
Cette chandelle, c'est pour toutes les bonnes choses dans la vie. This candle represents all good things in life that we enjoy.
Cette chandelle, c'est pour nos maisons qui sont confortables. This candle represents our homes that are safe.
This candle represents our chances to go to school. Cette chandelle, c'est pour la chance que nous avons de sauver notre religion. This candle represents our chance to follow the faith of our choice. Cette chandelle est pour la possibilité de faire des amis comme nous voulons. This candle represents our ability to make friends with whomever we please. Cette chandelle, c'est pour un merci sincère. This candle represents a silent but heartfelt thank you. Cette chandelle, c'est une promesse de travailler pour la paix. This candle represents our promise to work for peace.
Day of the 11th month, Canadians stand and take a few minutes of silence to think about the sacrifices of so many Canadians, past and present. They listen to the lonely sound of the bugle playing last post in their memory. I would ask you all now to stand very quietly and pay your respect for the moment of silence.